Situated on the banks of the Tiber, Rome was founded in 753 BC. Its long history, at the heart of the Roman Empire and then as the heart of the Roman Catholic Church, has made it a city of pilgrimage and tourism. The Piazza Navona, estimated to accommodate a crowd of 30,000, is one of the loveliest. Centrally situated, a pensione or a hotel nearby would be an excellent choice to discover this city. This movie was all made on foot, covering many kilometers, but only possible because of this location. The Pantheon, a glory of the eternal city, is the most perfect of all the classical monuments in Rome. This imposing building is now used as a church. Inside there is an impression of unequalled solemnity. Its simple regularity, the beauty of its proportions, and the splendid materials used combine to make the interior sublime. Even the elaborate marble floor impels a gaze. The piazza outside is often crowded, and at midday the eating facilities are full to capacity. On our way to the Spanish Steps, a slight detour brings us to the Trevi Fountain, celebrated for its excellent water and the legend, which says drink or drop a coin in the water and you're sure to return. The figure is Agrippa, who brought the water to Rome by means of an aqueduct. Retracing a little from the Trevi, we encounter the beautiful column of Marcus Aurelius, erected by the Senate to honor this great emperor. At last, after an hour or so's walking, we arrive at the Via Condotti, and the Spanish Steps appear at the far end. Along here we encounter one of the professional beggars, to whom, apart from an occasional tourist, no one seems to pay any attention. This charming monumental flight of steps gently follows the slope of the hill. At its foot is the graceful fountain of the little boat by Bernini. Steps were not only meant for climbing. A little bit of air can be a tasty morsel. At the top of the steps is the two-cupola church, the Trinity of the Mountain. In front is an obelisk taken from the Celestian Gardens in 1798. Alongside are the artists and the flower sellers. A final view of the piazza and the little boat. The Via Veneto, famous throughout the world for its elegance. In another direction, we cross the Tiber to St. Angel's Castle, now a museum. St. Peter's and St. Peter's Square now loom into view. Enclosed within the embrace of the Benedi colonnade, with its 284 massive columns arranged in rows 4 deep, we can see why it has been defined the most beautiful square in the world, located in front of the largest temple of Christianity. In the center of the square of the piazza is the second largest obelisk in all Rome, nearly 2,000 years old, a monolith of red granite. Our first visit to St. Peter's was thwarted. Guards blocked the entrance. A special service was going on inside. The chair of St. Peter by Bernini in its masterful setting, the nave from the entrance to the apex of this gigantic church. The cupola or dome on which Michelangelo worked for 18 years until his death. The high altar beneath the famous canopy of Bernini's, made from bronze taken from the Pantheon. The tomb of Alexander VII. The lifelike drapes at the base are carved in solid marble, designed by Bernini. Also another Bernini, Saint Longinus. Next is the celebrated bronze statue of St. Peter, traditionally attributed to Arnolfo da Cambio, now suggested by some to be the work of an unknown Syrian artist of the 4th century. The Vatican Palace is really a cluster of buildings whose construction was begun in the Middle Ages. The doors open into a broad atrium which leads to a spiral ramp built in 1932. It has a double flight of steps for those going up and for those going down. The museums of the Vatican carry a wealth of unparalleled beauty. Unfortunately, as one is herded through these treasure houses, the ability to take in and admire is almost impossible. And in fact, with the crowds that are now always present, the floor and the ceiling are the only aspects that can be particularly examined. It was Pope Julius II in 1503 who ordered Michelangelo to complete the work of the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo worked like a madman for 25 months, bringing to life the 9 episodes of Genesis. 22 years after Michelangelo had laboured on the ceiling, he again received papal summons and for 5 years laboured on the end wall, bringing to life 314 figures in a swirling mass of angels and demons, the redeemed and the damned. The Last Judgment, with Christ the Judge as the central figure. Now for a change. Let us take a bus ride to the gardens of the Villa d'Este, the main attraction in the small town of Tivoli. Ippolito d'Este was an active figure and cardinal in the political intrigues of the 16th century. He tore down part of a Franciscan monastery to achieve the site he had chosen for his villa. He had the Aniene River diverted into a channel to run under the town and provide water for the fountains of his villa. These fountains, too many to count, all perform from running water. There are no pumps or artificial aids. There are so many attractions to see in Rome, it's difficult to gather them into a short space of time. The entrance to the Appian Way, built in 312 BC. It is the oldest and the most celebrated highway of the Roman Empire. 560 kilometres in length, it was the main route to Greece. In the Lateran are the holy steps, the same flight of marble steps which Jesus ascended in the house of Pilate, brought to Rome by the pious Empress Helena. The 28 steps can only be ascended on your knees, each with a personal prayer. Either side of the steps are 2 groups, the kiss of Judas and Pilate showing Christ to the people. This vast marble monument is visible from many parts of the city, making it modern Rome's most flamboyant landmark. It was erected in the late 19th century to honour Italy's first king, Victor Emmanuel II. The Arch of Constantine, next door to the Colosseum, was erected in AD 315 to celebrate Constantine's victory over Maxentius. It is the best preserved of Rome's triumphal arches and the largest. No one comes to Rome or leaves without seeing the Colosseum, one of the greatest marvels of Roman civilization. This immense amphitheatre was commenced in 72 AD and inaugurated 8 years later with a program of games and shows lasting 100 days. More than 50,000 spectators could sit within the arena, whose circumference was faced with marble and accented with hundreds of statues. Seats reserved for the senators and the VIPs. Today the floor has gone, beneath is exposed. Plundered for building materials in the Middle Ages, the Colosseum is now preserved for posterity.